Welcome back to another episode, a championship episode of Braves Bullpen. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Siegel, joined alongside with Gardy Her. And Gardy, it's celebration time for the first time because baseball celebrates everything.
Yep.
The Atlanta Braves are the NL East champions once again, defeating the Philadelphia Phillies last night 4-1, taking 3 out of 4 at Citizens Bank Park to seal yet another division title. The Braves are 96-50, still good for the best record in baseball. And now all eyes shift to home field advantage. The Braves are 7 games up on the Dodgers in the loss column, 4 games up on the Baltimore Orioles in the loss column for best records throughout baseball. And Gardy, you and I were at the Monday night game with Kyle Wright's triumphant return, or I guess not so triumphant return. He did get shelled quite a bit in that outing, but Gardy, a young team, once again, division champs.
Yep. 6 times over now. Back to back to back to back to back to back. It's a lot of backs. Like Michael, that's Michael Jordan's press release. I'm back right there. That's how many backs we got. 6. Look at that. 6. Didn't even do that on purpose. Anyway, though, right, you're right. We're no longer caring about the division. We're the only people who have clinched a playoff spot. Not even just talking about like we won our division and clinched that. We've clinched going to the playoffs before everybody else. Still 16 games left in the ball season. And really, we only care about the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Orioles losing now. That's all we care about. What we do in division does not matter anymore. We need 2 games to clinch a first-round bye and home field advantage in the NLDS. We need 9 games, magic number this way, for home field advantage in the NLCS and 14 games for home field advantage in the World Series. So I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with this. I understand it makes more sense for, best record who makes it to the World Series, gets home field advantage. I think that's a whole bunch of hullabaloo. I still think that the midseason classic should decide it. And I think I said this when we were talking about the All-Star game 2 months ago, but I really believe it. Like, make the midseason summer classic matter again.
Yeah, I think we certainly talked about it. But again, best team in baseball right now. Going into the end of the season, the Braves have 3 against the Marlins, for home for 3 against the Philadelphia Phillies to wrap up that season series. And then a long stretch against the Nationals, 4 at Nats Park, and then 3 at home against the Cubs to finish out the year, and then 3 with the Nationals finish out the year. And Gardy, you and I talked pre-show. Just quickly hit us with a stat about division records with the Atlanta Braves and division win percentages.
Oh, it's unbelievable. They have their lowest win percentage in division is that they're 4-2 against the Nationals because they've only played them 6 times for a 66 win percentage. They have a 70% one against the Mets. They have a 79% one against the Phillies, and they're 9-1 against the Marlins this season. I remember there was a Marlins fan in like June, who was like, yeah, well, if you took away all of the wins the Braves have against the Marlins would be a better baseball team. It's like, well, doesn't fucking matter. You're still 1-9 against a team you see 13 times in a season. So, I mean, just think about that. As you said, I think we have 16 games left. 12 of those games are against, or 13 of those games are against those people that we just smack around all season. I mean, 6 years of just dominated 4 other teams in baseball. That's all it says to me. 6 years of pure and utter domination. Bloopy's loving it. He's waving the flag. I'm excited.
Absolutely. And again, Gardy, we've talked about it. And Matt Olson, and I know we said it, we were at the game at Citizens Bank Park Monday night. Kyle Wright's first outing back didn't go so well, but again, to be expected for somebody who hasn't thrown in an MLB game against a very, very talented lineup in the Philadelphia Phillies since the first performance since April. And the Braves gave him a game. It was 7-5 late in that game. The Braves ultimately dropping that one. But Gardy, like, this team can hit the long ball. And I know that you and I said it when Matt Olson hit number 49 and 50, that I think you and I both looked at each other like, Matt Olson can really hit the baseball.
Very good at hitting it far.
Very good at hitting the ball very far. Matt Olson leads the team with 51 home runs. He is tied with Andrew Jones for the single season Braves home run record. And the Braves as a team have hit 281 home runs this season alone. We are 146 games in. They are on pace to hit 313 home runs, which would break the 2019 Minnesota Twins record of 307 team home runs in a single season. And Gardy, I think up and down the lineup, we talked about, just all of these kind of crazy stats, but 51 home runs for Olson, 280 plus for the team as a whole. They really do like to hit the ball very far.
Well, chicks dig the long ball. So clearly we know that these guys not only, they're getting around if they want to. But anyway, another thing to think about there too, Rye, is like everybody's talking about Matt Olson, 51 home runs. It ties to Andrew Jones for most in a either Boston, Milwaukee, or Atlanta uniform for a single season, which is kind of crazy to think about with Hank Aaron, by the way. Just going to throw that one out there. But you still have, like, Ronald Acuna Jr. is literally the best player in baseball. He's, 37 home runs, over 60 stolen bases. Every time he does one of those things, he just seals himself as continuing to have this record and continually beating his own record over and over again. And it's just you have Matt Olson hitting 51 home runs. You have Spencer Strider with 260 strikeouts. I think it's 259 or 256 right now to be exact. But Charlie Morton somehow evades father time and manages to throw a nice, easy 3 ERA. Max Fried is back, up and down the lineup. The only guy who's played over 20 games with a negative WAR is Vaughn Grissom, and that's because he still hasn't learned how to throw to first base, apparently. There is not a single player in their starting nine on any given day to day who is worse than the most statistically they are all above average MLB baseball players this season, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about, especially over 146 games.
Absolutely. And we could continue to go down the stat rabbit hole. Every player in the Braves starting nine hitting over 265 or hitting over 264, with Sean Murphy hitting 264. Kevin Pillar hits 236. And Travis d'Arnaud hits 229, but again, guys who are getting more of spot starts. We even talked about even Nicky Lopez hitting 283 out of the 9-hole. You have a 9-hole hitter hitting 283. You're going to be a force to be reckoned with as the playoffs progress. And Gardy, you mentioned it. Spencer Strider last night, dominant once again against the Phillies. To your point, just 259 strikeouts. He has thrown this year alone. He has 461 strikeouts in 2 years. In 2 years, he's only thrown in 62 games. That is on average 7.5 strikeouts per outing. He is striking out 2 1/3 inning per game. That's absurd for a 24-year-old kid with the best mustache in baseball.
Best mustache in baseball.
But
it's absurd numbers. And you still have, Kyle Wright coming back. Hopefully he can be healthy. You have Bryce Elder, who knows if he can return to where he was. You have Max Fried. You have Charlie Morton. You have just so many guys. And it's here's a guy who, John Smoltz, I saw a clip on Twitter. I know I said it to you already pre-show, but who's this guy's he's already looking better than I did the first 3 years I put on a Braves uniform, or any pitcher who started their career in a Braves uniform has ever looked over their first 3 years. And that's coming from, John Smoltz. He's at least a very good pitcher, if not a Hall of Famer. So that's no small praise.
You're absolutely right. Now, spinning away from baseball, we were talking about this on Monday night, and this is something we felt we needed to address. Obviously with the MLB adding jersey advertisements, we were noticing on the Braves sleeves. I kind of noticed it when I went to see the Braves at Citi Field. But Gardy, you and I both sitting in the stands together noticed kind of like a yellow patch on their jersey because we really couldn't tell what their jersey ad was. And it was this company called Quikrete, which was based out of Atlanta. Their headquarters are in downtown Atlanta. And Gardy, you and I did some digging. And I'm going to just turn the floor over to you because you've really done some research on this. And I didn't realize there was a company called Quikrete, but apparently there is. And apparently they own a lot of things. And Gardy, I'm going to just turn the floor over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I just think it has to be a front. Like, you look at their website, it looks like you're going, the UX, to use a real technical term there, the UX looks like you're going on to Internet 2003. Like, Facebook's not even a freaking thing yet. You're still using MySpace. Then, yeah, like, I might have to put in a fucking floppy disk to use this website. But then on top of that, you can't even buy any of their products online. There's not even like a contact us to buy it. How do you have so much money that you can throw a patch on it? Front for the mob. Think about it. Can't buy online. Probably got to wholesale it, buy it in cash. Seems like a real easy way to launder money. Also, by the way, think about how many bodies you can hide in fucking concrete bags. Powdered concrete, grind up bones, boom, easy. I'm sure you got a lot of industrial equipment allegedly sitting on your properties. A lot of easy ways to dig holes efficiently. Just pour some concrete over it. We're just testing some new material. Never find the body. Who's not reading the room here? Like, they don't even have like brochures on half of their shit. It's just like, here's the safety specs on it. Like, who name a concrete company that has that much money to have the best team in baseballs? Jersey Patch. Like, I don't get it. Like, it cannot be a legitimate business.
Yeah, I was throwing the challenge flag when they also owned 8 other companies. And that range
to pass money.
Range from concrete to owning US pipe. And I think some of that was just it was rather suspect. And I agree. Their website, their UI does not look like it belongs in the 21st century. But here we are, and they are a Jersey Patch. And I think it was just, we went down a rabbit hole during the game because the Braves, they were kind of out of it early because Kyle Wright got absolutely shelled in that first outing back. But yeah, so we're on to Quickcrete. We might be AJ Minter truthers. We might have to be Quickcrete truthers as well. Allegedly.
I think
all of this allegedly. But we don't know. But
I mean, I'm just saying they have a whole thing about all these things that have been built allegedly with Quickcrete products. A lot of bridges, a lot of highways. I'm just saying, if you watch anything with the mob, who gets those contracts? The mob. Okay?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm just saying, think about how many guys who have worked in waste management and construction businesses who have worked for the fucking mob. I mean, it just makes sense.
Absolutely. But we are a fan show, and we care about you. We're an owner show, so we had to talk a little bit about the business here. But we want to hear from you, whether at home or on the road, like Gardy and I were at Citizens Bank Park, in Truist Park, in Citizens Bank Park, down in Miami, you name it, wherever. We want to hear from you. Maybe we'll have you on and talk about your story. If you have any more information about Quickcrete allegedly, feel free to reach out. Please let us know. But with that, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the postseason as well with the Atlanta Braves, and we'll be here to ride with you through the rest of the regular season and into the postseason. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Braves Bullpen.
Thank you.